In this video, I'll explain the movie called Magic Hour. The film begins by describing the complicated love story of two sisters named Raina and Gwenny. Raina is an orphanage girl who became Gwenny's mother's adopted daughter when she was a newborn, while Gwenny is her biological child. Because they have been raised since they were babies, their relationship is similar to that of a brother and sister. On a sunny morning, as usual, Raina delivers flowers to consumers. Before she left, Gwenny asked her to stop by a cafe next to her in order to meet a man named Dimas. Then after delivering the orders one by one, Gwenny sent a photo of Dimas so she wouldn't be confused when looking for him. But Raina was surprised when a high-speed car came to Raina. So that tragedy was unavoidable. Raina fainted and the bicycle and flowers were destroyed. After a few hours lying in the hospital, Raina realized what was going on and dashed out of the hospital to the cafe to complete her appointment. When Raina arrived, she handed the waiters a photo of Dimas so they could meet him. When she returned home from the meeting, her adoptive mother was angry because her customers had complained that their orders had not yet arrived. Then at that time, his mother already knew about her meeting with Dimas. Then he asked how the results of the meeting. She couldn't respond because the person he met was Raina instead of Gwenny. Raina deeply regrets her decision to help Gwenny, which makes her even get scolded badly. Then she told that the meeting was just normal things like getting to know each other. Unhappy with her answer, Gwenny asked him to meet Dimas again. Unfortunately, Raina flatly refused, leaving Gwenny confused about what to do. Suddenly, Raina felt dizzy, which made Gwenny concerned and wanted to take her to the hospital. But Raina thought she was fine. Gwenny then asked Raina to contact Dimas. The phone wasn't picked up. Gwenny decided to text him instead, so the message could be read by him. In a coffee shop, there is a barista named Toby. Many of his customers, especially high school students, are drawn to him because of his stunning looks. But he responded in such a nice manner that he didn't notice Raina was coming. It could be said that Raina was his best friend. Toby immediately saw Raina's wounded face and head. He was quite concerned about the wound, so Raina turned to ask him to make her favorite drink. While shipping her favorite drink, Toby admired Raina's beauty and thought she was really sweet. When they are together, they usually talk about their personal love. Raina rushed to see Toby the next day. Toby immediately took something out for her, a tape with a recording of his own song. Then Raina was pleased that her best friend could write a song. But he asked Raina to listen to it in the first person. Raina suddenly felt dizzy and almost fainted. So Toby suspected that the result of his head wound was quite serious. When she got home, she rushed to play the tape. She enjoyed the music, and even Gwenny listened to it as well. So she guessed Toby sang it for Raina since Raina loves rain, so she was called by Toby as Rain. And there are many meanings of rain inserted in the song. Then Gwenny asked Raina to wear her clothes when she met Dimas. Dimas arrived at the cafe unexpectedly. It made Raina nervous and even embarrassed. Dimas instantly walked away when he saw Raina's face, and Raina chased him with her bicycle on a rainy day. At the moment, Dimas found that Raina was the victim of an accident in which he was the perpetrator at the beginning of the film. Raina finally admitted that she was Raina, not Gwenny. She merely did just only for knowing his personality. Then after Raina came home, Dimas followed her out of curiosity to make sure. The next day, Raina, as usual, delivered flower orders to the hospital. They ran into each other again at that time. Raina became suspicious that he had been following her around all day. However, he denied it. He claimed that he had his own purpose in the hospital. Raina then guessed that Dimas would want to know more about Gwenny. So Dimas challenged her to spend the entire day with him so that they could get to know each other's personalities. As they ate ice cream, Raina told him about Gwenny's personality and habits. It suddenly rained, but the rain made Dimas happy, and he instantly danced. Even if he met the right person, everything would go more perfectly. As time went on, Dimas and Raina's friendship became stronger. Love was slowly coming into both of their hearts while they were in the library. And after spending the day with Dimas Raina, he returned home, excited to see Gwenny. So she told her that Dimas was really good and he would be a perfect match for Gwenny. But she didn't care, so Raina became upset as if her efforts had been useless the entire time. Dimas arrived the next day to pick up Raina and spend the entire day with her. In the late afternoon, they enjoy the beauty of the magic hours while having conversations and expressing themselves from heart to heart. After that time, Raina told the story with enjoyment for the very first time she has ever felt, especially love. Night come, Dimas went to a place with Raina when it was raining. Then he confessed that he had fallen in love with her. But Dimas asked Raina for permission that he won't be able to meet her for a few days. Raina asked him not to leave her forever. Dimas looked really strange as if he is hiding something. Raina felt her days were empty after 5 days without seeing Dimas. But behind that, she was very grateful because Gwenny had refused to meet Dimas from the beginning. Raina believes this is not a coincidence. And Dimas we sent from God for her. At the same moment, Toby arrived and Dimas called him, asking that they could meet in the evening. So Toby, with a jealous look on his face, watched Rayna, who was on the phone, while smiling. At night, when Dimas was about to meet Rayna, a guest unexpectedly arrived at his house. The guest was Gwenny with her mother. It turned out that night their parents planned the date of their wedding. Because right from the start their parents have arranged their marriage, but their parents did not know that Dimas had feelings for Rayna. That's when Dimas first saw Gwenny. Meanwhile, Rayna was cheerfully waiting for him at the night market, so Dimas tried to call her to her shop, while Rayna Knight called back to Dimas' cell phone, which automatically they cannot connect to each other. Until finally it rained that night, because she felt sad and disappointed for the first time Rayna didn't like rain. Meanwhile, Gwenny tries to communicate with Dimas and asks him to save her phone number. Toby was waiting for him in front of the shop that night after it had rained. He asked her to talk. Toby was asked to go back home with Rayna since she was not in the mood. Actually, he was not only one to meet her, but also because he was jealous because she met another man that night. Rayna confirmed and said she didn't meet anyone. Toby thought Rayna was being used and manipulated by the man, so he tried to defend her by beating the person. That's when Toby expressed his feelings, but his feelings were not responded by Rayna. Rayna was upset after that and even cried over her disappointment when Dimas tried to call her. Her sadness was worsening. He knew that Dimas had met Gwenny. Also, the two of them were getting engaged next week. Dimas came to meet Rayna the next day to explain the problem from the night before. Rayna, on the other hand, distracted him by saying that Dimas could only come with the intention of buying flowers or meeting Gwenny. Dimas felt he was not in love with Gwenny but with her, so he desperately and bravely wanted to clarify to all of them, because he wanted to marry her and he knew that he didn't have much time. Rayna, on the other hand, declared loudly that she was not in love with him at the time. Dimas still doesn't believe her. After that, when Rayna was delivering flowers, she met Toby again. Toby tried to convince her one more time. He wished to change his relationship status from friendship to dating. Rayna, on the other hand, rejected discreetly, saying that she didn't want to lose her if one day they were actually dating and ended up fighting and broke up. That's why Rayna just wants Toby to be her best friend so they may spend the rest of their lives together, and can count on her when he feels unhappy or sad. So finally, Toby could understand her feelings. When Rayna returned home, she found that they had all gathered. Rayna pretended to be an innocent in front of Dimas when she joined the discussion about the engagement with Gwenny. However, in the middle of the conversation, Dimas fearlessly and honestly told them what had actually occurred. That he loves Rayna, not Gwenny. Gwenny was furious and disgusted with Rayna when she heard that. But Dimas defended her, claiming that it was not her responsibility but her own. If you like someone, don't ask someone else to take your place to meet someone other until in the end they fall in love with each other. Even Dimas is very grateful to Gwenny for making this happen. Their parents were astonished to find out the truth. Gwenny was furious and immediately pushed Rayna as hard as possible, making Rayna likely hit her head on the table. Dimas tried to save her till she collapsed. Rayna finally awoke after being taken to the hospital by calling Dimas' name. Rayna couldn't see anything around her. Rayna was also sentenced to be blind by the doctor. Toby unexpectedly approached Gwenny, who was upset at the situation. Dimas became angry when he spotted Toby wearing a red jacket and punched him hard, until Gwenny split them up. Why did Dimas hit Toby? It turns out that at the beginning of the film, Dimas hit Rayna because Toby was crossing carelessly when the red light was green. Then he tried to avoid it, but unfortunately, he crashed and Toby ran away. Toby felt deeply sorry for the situation that he had caused. After Dimas told Rayna about it, he thought that he had loved and cared for her all this time only because of guilt. But he didn't feel that way. The truth is that he truly loves and falls in love with him to the point where Rayna doesn't believe it until she starts crying uncontrollably. They were all brought in to see what was going on. Dimas had just quit and was unsure what to do next. After Rayna recovered, she started to adapt to the environment. Even though she walks by relying on a stick, there is someone who always watches and helps her, Dimas. In the evening, Gwenny brought good news for her that she will get an eye donor from someone. While at the hospital, when he met Toby, he left Rayna's favorite drink with her because he was rushing to work that he could not meet her. Gwenny spontaneously told Toby that the song he composed was interesting, so she liked it. Toby was overjoyed to hear it. Gwenny seemed to have forgotten about Dimas and turned to Toby, who looked awkward in front of him, while Rayna is waiting for her eye surgery. Suddenly, Dimas sat by her and tried to calm her down. She knew that was Dimas because she knew his voice. Rayna was very happy even though she couldn't see him, so she spontaneously told Dimas that she didn't hate him and would still love him. But we noticed that Dimas has changed and is strange. Then the operation began and was done successfully. Finally, Rayna could see again and Gwenny was very happy. They were all there to witness it. But when Raina called Dimas, her mother immediately cried hysterically. So why is his mother crying? Is what happened true? Dimas wasn't in the room. Was he? After that, Raina opened a present that has a book in it, Magic Hour, and a flower. Then when they went on a date, Raina was very happy because Dimas had completed a novel for her. Again, Dimas showed a confused expression at Raina's words. Raina's doubts are growing as the sky darkens. When they don't do their thing in the rain. But it doesn't stop there. What they do is different from the previous one. Raina decided to give it a shot by asking him words that he said at dusk. The answer was completely different. Raina quickly gets to the point. If he is not Dimas, she asks him to go. But then she remembered her decision that he was the one who takes care of her when she was blind. Raina is aware that he is not Dimas, to the point of wondering why he is so similar. So the guy was silent for a minute before taking her to the grave, where it was found that Dimas had died. But who has been on his side the entire time? The guy was later confirmed to be Dimas' younger brother. Then he told me Dimas had died from brain cancer. So he had time before that to check his health, but it was too late. Dimas requested that his eyes be donated to Raina at the end of his life so that he may live with her. Her brother then showed her a video of him writing the novel Magic Hour at the time. Raina, on the other hand, was surprised that Dimas appeared to be okay at the moment, so his sister told her when they met at the hospital. At that time, it turned out that Dimas was taking treatment, not following her. Then when Dimas was absent for a few days, it was only for chemotherapy. Dimas was then absent for a few days simply for chemotherapy. Raina then sobbed bitterly. Not only that, but his brother showed another video in which Raina requested eye surgery. His brother made the time to present it to his brother, who wanted to give the special gift to make his twin cry. So when Raina saw the video, she fell into tears. After a few days later, Raina finally let go. And at that moment, Dimas' twin said, although he was not her first love, he promised to be Raina's last love. So that means they are in a relationship and the film ends.